Thank you guys for your patience. If you don't mind, we will be starting soon. Hit that like button and comment where you're watching from.
Guys, welcome in to another live here on Yoders Talk. Exciting to be back with y'all. We are ready to get another live kicked off here. Clinton Yoder, as always, your host. My co-host, Corey McClendon here. We are excited to be with y'all this morning again. It seems like it's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks, and we've been on a break from the actual podcast itself, and I've kind of missed y'all. To be honest, it's been kind of different not doing all the recordings and things like that. So these lives may not only be for y'all, but it's maybe a little bit for us to stay in the action, in the game. And but we are excited to be back with y'all this morning. We have a good one today. I think it's going to be an enjoyable time today. If you are a leader out there that struggles like we do, This will be a good one for you. We have. Well, I give Corey the credit. He done a lot of hard work on this live today, and so I'm excited to get into it. So, Corey.
Yeah. Well, first, let's we've kind of, as you can see behind us, we're kind of redecorating and adding some stuff to the studio. So we've got our play button up there hanging out, and as we get ready for season 4. We're doing a little redecorating, so we want to kind of show it off just a little bit, all the hard work that Jeremiah did for us, hanging some shelves for us and making it look pretty. So
there's a few more things we'll get added to it here and there, but we're looking forward to another season coming up. Again, when does that launch, Sean?
We are launching March 7th will be the first episode.
March the 7th. So y'all stay in tune and watch out for that. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So
let me, I guess, to preview the talk today and chat. We want you guys to be involved. If you have questions while we're talking or something, throw it in the chat. I'm going to be throwing in a couple questions as well, just to get you guys engaged and thinking. But we really want this to be kind of an engaging time together, so you guys can say, hey, what about this, and we'll kind of elaborate if we can, or maybe we don't have the answer and you do, so and
Amen.
you can give us a little tip. So but Clinton, what if I told you that I could, if we developed one skill in your leadership, that I could take your turnover and lower it by 50%. I could take your employee engagement and raise it 76%. And then on top of that, I could also give you 29% higher revenue. What would you say to that?
Well, it'd be a no-brain investment.
Yeah, it'd be easy.
I mean, if it was a dollar investment, you'd do it every day.
Every day. And so this is a skill, and where we get these stats, there's a Gallup study that found that organizations with high trust levels experience 50% higher or lower employee turnover, and trust also leads to 76% higher employee engagement and 29% higher revenue.
So you could also flip that around and say, why am I losing so many employees? You may want to stop and say, well, maybe we're missing a key ingredient to success as a leader. And what I'm hearing you say is that is trust.
100%. And so, and just to highlight this stat, I found another stat. I'm if you guys hadn't found out already, I'm like a
stat nerd,
and that's why I love baseball so much, is because of the stats. So, a Harvard Business Review study, and this is so, like, it's mind-blowing what I'm about to tell you guys. Mind-blowing. I think I told just about everybody in the organization, so this may be the third or fourth time you've heard this if you're watching within the company. But Harvard Business Review study found that 58% of people say that they would trust a stranger more than they would their own boss.
A stranger.
58% of people said that a random stranger is more trustworthy than their boss. And I think that highlights the trust deficit in many workplaces.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got this epidemic going on where our employees don't trust their leadership, and you're seeing it as these employees are saying, hey, listen, I don't trust the guy. He's not being honest with me. I'll go find somewhere else for my employment, which leads to that 50% turnover. They're not engaged,
Mm-hmm.
and because they're not engaged, the revenue drops in your business.
Oh, absolutely. I've experienced it. When in some of the failures that I've had throughout my business, a lot of times when it came down to why is this person not performing at the level that I know they can. And most times, if I'm honest, two things have happened. And every now and then it is just someone that needs to be get off the bus. But most times, two things have happened. Number one is I haven't communicated well with them, which is a step towards trust.
Mm-hmm.
Communication to me is completely intertwined into trust.
Mm-hmm.
They need to hear from you. They don't, trust is built. It's something that you build on. It's not, I always tell people that if I hired you, I trust you. That's kind of my slogan.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that. If I hired you, why would I hire you if I did not trust you? That would make no sense. You wouldn't allow somebody into your home that you didn't trust, right?
Yep.
So it's no different into your business. Why would I allow somebody in my business that I do not trust? Now, I also want to say this, that it's up to the individual if they're wanting to build on that trust or break the trust.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's the same way flipping the script now for me. Why would somebody come work for me? And this is just in my eyes, if they don't trust me. I hope that every person that comes and works for me comes because they trust me.
Yeah.
Because of the reputation that, with the help of God, that hopefully I have built. That, there's trust there. So it goes the other way too. Why did someone leave? Well, maybe I broke their trust as a leader.
Yeah.
We are blessed in our business, Corey, because our turnover rate is honestly, the last stat that I seen was down in the 5% range.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable.
Yeah.
That's kudos to all our leadership, not my leadership, but I deal with only a few of y'all really on a daily basis. So it's trust that has been built all the way down through the organization, and I think that is why the turnover rate is as low as it is.
Yeah.
So.
And it's and because of that, it's gut wrenching when somebody leaves.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it's horrible.
We tend to, if somebody leaves our company, it's like somebody has died.
Yeah, 100%. Which is it's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Back to what you were saying right there about figuring out, what I've always said is I try to start everyone out with 100% trust, and what they do with that is up to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they can diminish that down. If they're a part of the team, then hey, I put you in this position because I trust you, and you can diminish that by your actions. And so Ernest Hemingway actually says the best way to find out if you can trust someone is just to trust them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying was, you have to just trust someone when they come into your organization. You have to just trust them, that they will do what they said they're going to do. I believe that everybody, that a business that does not have trust inside of it is a business that is in turmoil. And I will tell you this: even the people that are trustworthy, the people that are bought into what you're doing, if trust starts to be broken throughout your organization, you're in a downward spiral. And I'm gonna be honest: if it gets too far, most times there's no coming back from it. Because and the reason I say that is, it is so much harder to build trust that has been broken than to build trust that is at the beginning of stages of a relationship. When trust is broken, it is, and I even think of it like this sometimes. If trust has been broken between me and a team member, either way, let's say, and I'm going to use me as maybe I broke their trust. Let's go with that. I like to stop and ask them the question: is there even a path forward here? I'm sorry I broke your trust. It's on me, and I failed you. But for both of our sakes, let's have this conversation.
Yeah.
Is there any moving forward in this relationship? Because if it's not, if that trust is going to be something that we're going to deal with for the rest of our lives and the rest of our relationship, then it probably is best for both of us that we part ways. Now, I'm all for rebuilding trust. But there are times where things get broken where you just, for example, if somebody is a thief and steals from you. Yeah. I mean, the truth is that trust is probably never going to be regained at the level that it was at the beginning even.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so probably, somebody steals from you, you're going to let them go. But that's part of a relationship that is no longer being able to be built on because the trust has been completely broken.
Yeah.
So just kind of the way I look at it. So
and we're talking a lot from the leader to the the follower type scenario, but trust is also vital side to side as well.
Yes.
And so when you have an environment of trust, those team members also resolve conflicts easier, and oftentimes they work towards that shared goal a lot faster. And I think of a lot of times, in our environment, we have a lot of passionate people, and we're all fired up about the direction we're going. Sometimes it's just we don't see the path to get there the same way.
Yes.
And so that causes conflict inside of a organization. And so, but we've built enough time and we've had enough trust in each other that we know, okay, hey, they're just as committed towards working towards the same goal I am. It's just we're not seeing the same path forward, and we resolve those differences so much faster.
Absolutely.
So
and I like what you said there. I think that's vital. Is that we all understand that we're all working for the same mission and the same goals. We all have our opinions, opinions are something that just comes with relationships. You know, I have different opinions than my best friends, and I have different opinion than my wife at times. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that we're not going to come to a solution that in the end we reach the goal that we both are dreaming of, or the goal that we've both been working so hard for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and in a way, that's a form of trust.
Yeah.
Because I trust, there's times where I have to give up my idea. We've had this between me and you. We had one just recently over the budget for advertising. We had a conversation about this. And that was an area, as me as a leader, I had to give up. I had to trust, in a sense, that Corey's way was actually a better idea than mine. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So in a way, trust is also you laying down some of your ideas at times and saying, I actually like that idea, and I'm going to trust that it is the right move. And we're going to go by what the employer or team member said. And as a leader, sometimes, truth is, they are a lot of times more right than what you realize, because they're in the grind of things and they see things from a different angle.
Yeah, that's always been a thing that I've thought is you gotta be able to listen and trust that, hey, this might not be the idea that I came up with, but it's going to work out. And then the other thing is, like, you know, right now in the season we're in, where we're all kind of fighting, we're fighting towards a goal, but we're all fighting separate battles. It's nice having a high level of trust, because, you know, I trust the financial team to do their job and allow me to worry about sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust the production team to do their job, and they're going to get it taken care of, and I'm just going to focus on sales. And so when you have that high level of trust, you're able to, if you're a type A personality, it's great and it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can do this, you can kind of let go of the reins a little bit of all the different things and say, hey, listen, I'm just going to focus on my job. And that's something I'm learning every day now. Yeah.
So I want to before we move a little further, I want to jump over here to some comments. Starting off, Gerald, the tree. You want to we'll put the tree up for auction if you would like. It is, I can see it from my seat. It has not left the studio yet, and we would be honored for you to have the tree. Coming on down a little bit further.
We could put the tree right in the middle of the bullpen at Yoder Meadow.
Yeah, there you go. You can have it. Cypher, I appreciate it. He says it does not even feel like a job, feels more like a hobby. You know, that's great and all, and I appreciate that, and hopefully that's how most of us feel here. JD, appreciate that. And you said it's couldn't ask for a better group to be around. And I think that's because of trust. You know, just trusting each other as a team and all that. So I appreciate you. I really do.
Can I just point out that a comment was made? The name is Yoders IT.
Yoders IT.
Do you see that?
Trust is the foundation of success. Business relations without it, but with growth.
Is that Brandon?
I don't know. I do not know. It just says Yoders IT.
That's amazing. He had to have made that this morning.
I don't know.
That's awesome. If it is Brandon, well, either way, that was a great comment.
Yeah, it was a great comment.
But if it is Brandon, let us know it's Brandon.
Oh, hello, it's me.
Hey.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, good one, Gerald. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. That's what I was saying. I was like, Gerald, that's fire right there, as the young kids say. I'm learning that I'm now in the age where I don't understand lingo anymore. Didn't think that would creep up so fast. So, well, let's dive back in. As I was doing research, so as you guys know, I used to be a pastor. And so, smart Brandon. That's right, baby. If you don't know, we have two Brandons inside of our organization, and there's one that has been labeled the smart Brandon, and by the other Brandon. Okay, so it's not like somebody else, like Brandon's like, that's the smart Brandon. Which, Brandon, you are Brandon Lynch, you are amazing, and I love you so much. So, hope you're
Gerald
back.
says to quit using his lingo.
Oh,
So-
yeah, that's right. Gerald keeps me up to date on that stuff.
Brandon says the other Brandon is smart too.
He
I
is
love it.
smart. He's pretty sharp. He just don't like to tell anybody that because then somebody expects more out of him. So that's all that is right there. That's
Maybe
a,
Brandon is smart.
that's a best friend of 17 years giving y'all the down low on that one right there. Well, like I said, I've been a pastor before, and so as I was making sermons, there's a habit that some pastors do, and they make sermons and they come up with points and stuff, and all the points start with the same letter. So I adopted that today, little homage, call back to that, and so I found that there are really 3 pillars of building trust.
Mhm.
Right?
I would agree.
And so the first one would be consistency. Your team is demanding consistency out of you. So they want that reliability, they want the follow through, and leaders who are consistent in their words and actions are more likely to earn employee loyalty. So I think it's so important. I saw this, like I said, y'all gonna hit all kinds of stats today, but a study found that 74% of employees expect their employer to be a reliable source of information, and this really is just emphasizing that role of being consistent.
Communication.
Yep.
That source of information, communication.
100%. And so, the way I think of it is, I get it. I have 3 direct reports that come to me, and I hope I do a great job for those guys. And we're very intentional with our communication and trying to do those things. But there are times where I'm sitting in my office working on something, and they need me pretty hot and heavy on a situation. And the thing is, if they come in and they say, "Hey Corey, I need your help with this," and I just say, yeah, I'll get to it. But I don't get to it. Guess what I just did with my team?
You've dropped the level of trust, first of all.
100%. I
Yes.
broke their trust. And so the thing about being a leader that's trying to build trust is sometimes that may look like you having to tell your team, "Hey, look, I am slammed right now. I don't know that I'll be able to get to this until this time." And that being okay, because let me tell you, when it comes to building trust, it's better to put that expectation in your team's head of, "Hey, I may not be able to get to this and help you out with this," rather than saying, yeah, I'm going to help you out, and it going in one ear and out the other, because all you're doing is setting your team up, or setting them up to have an opportunity to break trust. And so we never want to put ourselves in that opportunity. So sometimes saying that, "No, I can't do it," or "We're going to have to, let me get you over here to this person or that person because I'm just slammed right now." It's okay to be honest and be open about that.
Yeah. I mean, there's dishonesty. So many times we call it just the thing of, well, we're busy but in a way that's a form of dishonesty when we say we're going to get to it. We'll get to it. And then we don't. You're so much better off, just like you said, just to be honest with your team. Say, "Man, well, I'll give you an example, and I feel kind of bad about this, but the last week I've been so zoned in, and you've had to do a lot of this prep work that we did here. And I could have told you that I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And you walked in this morning, and there'd have been nothing sitting here.
Yeah.
Would you trust me next time to get to it?
Probably not.
But in that instance, I think it was Monday, I told you, "Man, I'm slammed. I don't know if I'll have time to get to it this week."
Yep.
And you took it under control, and a lot of times that's what happens. That's another thing that happens a lot of times is when you're willing to give that up, it's kind of an automatic delegation that happens.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, if you can't get to it, man, I'll handle it."
Yeah. And my team, they're so
And
great.
so that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful in a way, because and don't be sitting around just letting your team do everything and be lazy, because that's another way of breaking trust is, well, what did you even get done this week? You said you couldn't do or you're too busy, but you've been on the golf course for 4 days. You know.
Okay, that feels targeted.
Yeah, that was targeted directly at you. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. So, by the way, my golf game is back to where it was as a beginner. So
Wow.
that's a random comment, but I found that out last Saturday. So
Yeah. But just
I'm
be
so ready to go.
ready to
we'll
do
go.
some golfing.
Yes.
Y'all want to go build some trust on the golf course?
well, we need to go build some trust with the Par Patrol guys.
Yes, absolutely, and we're excited about them.
Yeah,
I think
shout out to them.
yeah they're a good group of guys, and we get to have them on the podcast
This season.
this season. So
But set clear expectations. That's going to be the biggest deal with building trust with your team, and also the people that are beside you, the guys that are on your same level. Follow through on promises. If you say you're going to do something, do it, and hold yourself accountable to that,
Yes.
and then communicate proactively. One of the things that I will say that shout out to Jimmy, and he's a new father.
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, Jimmy. You need to text me back.
Sweet.
I mean, I found out. You know when I found out about that?
When'd you find out?
Yesterday at lunch.
Did you really?
I was never told nothing. He just
I should have texted you.
he shot me everything
She's
yesterday at lunch,
adorable.
and then I texted him back last night, and he didn't even respond. I mean, come on.
He's probably in the thick of it, man.
thinking his new kid's more important than me.
I know.
Just kidding. I'm joking, Jimmy.
But
Of course, I'm
she's
proud
adorable,
of you, man.
man.
I'm proud of you.
But one thing that he constantly pushes me in is communicate proactively. If you see something that could possibly be an issue, let your team know about it. We constantly try to stay on top of things through our huddles, our one-on-ones, things like that. But it's good practice. What it's gonna do for your team is they know, hey, my leaders got me covered. They're watching out for me, and I think that's what I try to employ for my guys, and take care of them. Let me switch gears here and go to the next one.
Before we do,
Yeah, what you got?
I'm so sorry. I didn't know Jimmy was having a
Well,
baby.
Jimmy's not pregnant or having a
Well,
baby,
I
but
didn't
his
mean- I was gonna
beautiful
say Jimmy
wife
was pregnant.
Christina did have a baby.
You didn't
I-
even know it?
I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, he's a new daddy.
Yeah,
Congrats,
daddy
Jimmy.
of 3.
I swear I didn't know. Congrats, Jimmy. That's so sick.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And by the way, sick is the new lingo for awesome. So
Yeah,
just
the
so people
baby's
know
fine.
that.
The baby's fine.
You got to remember, Sean. We may be talking to some people that don't understand the new lingo, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. The second one is
I'm so sorry.
Oh my!
It's going about like our blooper reel yesterday.
oh, dude. Yeah, y'all are gonna get a blooper reel soon of me doing the promos for this live. It took me like 17 tries on one of them, and it was
hilarious.
It was something. I about threw something. So the second thing is competency, knowledge and adaptability. Trust in leadership increases when leaders demonstrate expertise and ability to handle challenges efficiently. So this is not to say you've got to be the leading expert in your field, right? Because I don't think that's necessarily what we're trying to say, but you need to have some level of knowledge of what your people go through.
Yes.
So I think back to when I moved from the accounting department over to sales. One of the things that you made me do, which I'm gonna be honest, at first I was like, I don't know about that, but ended up being the best move that we could have made. Is you made me sit at the front desk for like 3 months, and before we went and found another salesman. And to be honest, I had a lot of ideas of, well, sales, we can do this and we can do that and we can do this. And then when I sat there for 3 months in one of our busier seasons, I realized you don't have time for anything.
Yes.
And so what it immediately took my knowledge to is, no, I don't need to add more things to them. I need to help them be more efficient in the current task. Then we can discuss adding things. And so
I'm gonna just say a little bit on that real quick. So talking about, competency and the thing of having some experience when it comes to being put into a new role. One of the reasons it's one of the things that I've just embodied is making sure that my team understands, especially in management, when they're taking over, becoming a manager or a leader of a department. I don't want to hire somebody that's never been the guy that is doing the grind work. Meaning, for example, I don't want a salesman that has never sold metal before, that sat and understood. I don't want I'm just thinking, someone that dispatches for a driver that has never been a driver. Because the truth is, you can quickly assume things, and you can quickly think that why are they not? And it's talking about trust. It's just a knife right through the heart of trust. And I've experienced it. I've put people in them roles that have never done it, and it cost me a lot. I remember an instance where it was actually a dispatcher for driving, and I hired a dispatcher, and in the end, they were doing a great job, but the dispatcher and the drivers never could get along. And the reason they never could get along was because the dispatcher never seen it through the eyes of the driver. Now let's flip the script. There also was another side of it. The driver's never seen it through the eyes of the dispatcher.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a balance there that you got to work through, is making sure that people understand why someone is doing what they're doing, and the best way to do that is actually for them to experience that thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out to be able to do that, but I would encourage any leader out there to make sure that your people, go through the grind of what the people that they're going to lead go through. And I don't want somebody leading a department that has blinders on, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So
and there's another way in this is leaders also have to admit when they don't know something, but they take responsibility and take proactive steps to learn and improve it. Like I think for me, I didn't know a ton about metal roofing when I got into it or even started working here, and I never really did when I was in accounting. It was just numbers, right? But when I switched over to sales, I tried to proactively, there's so much content out there that you can find out how to do certain things. So like, you can look at YouTube, and you can read articles, read books, and find the knowledge. But that's what leaders do. If you're deficient in an area that you need to have some level of expertise there, go get the knowledge. And then the other thing, don't be afraid to ask your team. The thing is, like, I've got 3 very capable salesmen that know a ton about metal roofing, pole barns, all that we do. If I don't know something, like, it's not bad to go, hey, Leo, explain to me how that trim works. Explain how, JP, explain to me why a steel truss in this application is better than a wood truss right here. Lyndon, show me how, the barn shops order. It's not a detriment to ask your actual team to show me, hey, how do you do this, or what is, and actually when you do that, you're showing some vulnerability to them, and it builds trust with them, because they say, hey, my guy, he may not know it all, but he's trying to learn it. And so I think continuing personal development, staying informed, being kind of ahead of the curve where different things go, and demonstrating to your team that hey, I can solve problems is going to work out. So
yeah, there's a quote here. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, and you will be smarter for it. That's kind of my idea. As a leader, successful people understand that they have to bring in people smarter than them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is 100% a trust-based system to follow, because you are trusting them that they are going to be able to give you the information that you're not able to, that you don't have.
Yeah.
In a sense. And I believe that if you can hire people that are smarter than you, you made a great hire.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's hard as a leader sometimes.
It can be.
A egotistic leader. There you go.
Yeah.
Some of that is wanting the glory themselves. That's hard to do, and you're missing an opportunity that's absolutely unreal to hire people that are smarter than you. So I guess I'll start doing that tomorrow. I'm kidding, team. Y'all are great. Most of y'all are a lot smarter than me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There's the chat right now. Something's going on, and so I see there's some message. I'm sorry, I don't understand that. I might have to get somebody to translate that for
JD
me.
says it means, where did the tree go?
That's still here.
We got a fan of the tree.
Yeah.
The tree is
That
going
is
to. We're
hilarious.
gonna put the tree on the. We're gonna start having a bidding war over the tree.
If anybody wants the tree, just come get it, please. I hate that tree. But anyway, the third point, and I would argue that this is the most important. All right, this is the absolute most important, is care. Right?
That's a good one.
So, showing genuine concern for your people. Employees are 12 times more likely to be engaged at work when they feel like their leader cares about them as a person. And I'm gonna step out on a limb here and say that is one place that we excel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I first got hired here, that was a big deal to me. Is you guys didn't just care about what I brought to the company, but y'all cared about who I was as an individual, and you cared about my family. Mm-hmm. And so that made me definitely want to stick around. But one of my favorite quotes by John C. Maxwell says this: "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." And that is such a powerful quote. You've got to care for your team. You've got to make sure that they know that you're in their corner, you're backing them, and not just work-related tasks. Like, find out what they got going on in their lives, because that will tell you a ton about what's developing in their workflows, things like that. And we're very intentional with that. Yeah. Like our one-on-ones are kind of designed for that kind of touch point.
There's really two items that we use directly for this. And team, if you're not using it as a leader, I'm fixing to dive into it. So just let y'all know that we're going to be making sure we use that, and that is the weekly reporting tool as well.
Yep.
So the Entree Leadership, and this is a free advertisement for them, by the way. They are amazing. Entree Leadership, that's a Dave Ramsey organization that is focused on leaders. They have a platform called Entree Leadership Elite, and it tracks all kinds of cool things with your business. One of the tools that they offer is a weekly reporting tool, and this is a tool that every single Friday that the team is required, and I know some of you are not doing it, so just if you're not doing it, you're getting called out right now. They are to fill this out, and it's information that only one individual sees. Well, I say one individual. It's the leader right above them, and the leaders above them can look at it, but it's not typically something that we do. We try to let their leader review it, and every now and then I'll go through them all just to see. But anyway, in that there's a place where you can actually rate how your stress level, your workload, all these different things. And it's pretty cool because people start to put things on about their personal life, things they're going through, and the power in walking up to someone and putting your hand on their shoulder and say, hey, praying for you as you're dealing with this in your life. That means more to your team than probably anything else you could do. And so, just using these tools, Corey has one there.
I'm going to show it. Sean, if you can kind of zoom in.
Oh, there you go.
To
That
my
looks
camera.
good. That looks good.
But it literally, it kind of shows you, it says, how's your morale this week? When you select it, it actually gives you a drop-down box so you can kind of talk about it. How was your stress this week? How was your workload? And then what is your high for the week? What is your low for the week? And anything else. And so you get to submit those every week. And you get a streak for it. And my streak's like up to, I think, like 40 weeks or something
we
that.
should start having a competition.
I agree.
Like if you get to like 100, a streak of, well, 100's a little steep. Streak of 52 a year.
Yeah, 52.
You get a little incentive.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? And what's so awesome about it is there's a place on there that I can see the temperature of the whole company. So it puts all this data, into this, and it says, the stress level of the company is at this level, the morale's at this level, the workload's at this level. And so I can, as a leader, just glance at that and tell if kind of where, there you go. He's got it right here. So you can kind of see there's a break where my guys didn't fill out their reports right there. My team. But it tells you, hey, here's kind of an average of where your team is, and it kind of tracks it and goes up and down and shows you kind of how your whole team is doing. So if you have a week where all of a sudden the stress meter goes sky high, you might want to address that. But it's a great tool. Yeah,
absolutely great.
They're arguing on here who has the longest streak now. So,
Lord,
that's great. Well, congratulations.
Mine is 7.
Oh boy. So, but yeah, tools like that's an avenue that talking about that caring that you can use. Spending that one-on-one time. We have one-on-ones with our team. Most of y'all have a one-on-one, and just a moment to just talk through things and talk about life. And sometimes I've had one-on-ones that never even made any conversation about work. It was only about things that they were going through. And so
I had my first one that was like that a week or so ago, and the cool thing about it, I told them, I was like, hey, this is your one-on-one. This is not my one-on-one with you. It's your one-on-one. And so if you just got to talk through some stuff, I've got a couple things that my flow of how I want to do this, but at the end of the day, if you want to talk about some stuff, I'll take this sheet that I have and I'll crumble it up and throw it in the trash, and me and you'll just talk and talk through things. And so that's so awesome that and me and Jimmy, I have a one-on-one with Jimmy. He's my direct report. There has been times where mine and his are notorious for running over, because we get in there, and if you've ever had a one-on-one with Jimmy, and this is not a slam, because I love you, Jimmy, but he starts out with, hey, Corey, how's Corey doing? And I'll go, man, I'm great. How's Corey really doing? I'm great, Jimmy. I'm a straight shooter, and after 52 weeks, you'd think that one answer, but he always probes, and so I appreciate that, because he's always making sure that I'm good. But great. It's always all the guys that have one-on-ones with him, we always kind of poke with him about it, because he does it to all of us. But there are times that in me and Jimmy's one-on-ones that we talk about life. And then we may hit, hey, I need you, we need to get this done, this done, this done. But there are times that majority of the time we're just talking about stuff that's going on. I know when I lost my father-in-law back before Christmas, there were several one-on-ones that's all we talked about. And it means a lot to me because it tells me my leader does not just care about what I do for the company. He cares about who I am as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a person in the community, and that means the world to me. So it shows me, and the thing is, it builds trust, and just to highlight this and how important it is, I'm not going to name the organization that, but I worked in an organization one time, and before I came here, and this was about the time that Jeremiah had just started playing baseball. You guys know, y'all have listened to me enough, know that is one of the things that me and my son connect with, is playing baseball, and we're gearing up again, and we're ready. So if you're on the 6U, if you get drafted by Coach Jake Grooms, let me tell you something, we are set up to win. You better bring your A game, kids. 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds, it's going to be a tough season. I'm going to have to get on you. But anyway, this is the time Jeremiah had just started playing baseball, and I was in this organization, and I was talking to some other employees, and the owner of the organization was there. And I mentioned that, Jeremiah, we signed Jeremiah up for baseball, and we're excited and stuff and getting ready to go. And not even talking about time off, not even talking about, what time the games were going to be or anything like that. And the leader stopped, wasn't even listening to the conversation, but he stopped what he was doing and turned to me and looked and said, hey, just letting you know that you're not going to get off early for any of your son's games. And it was at that moment that I realized that I no longer wanted to be a part of that organization. That organization didn't care about me. They didn't care about my kid. They didn't care about who I was as a father. All they cared about is what I did. And when you do that to your employees, expect them to leave.
Absolutely. I'm going to read something here. Let's see. Only 22% of professionals rate their job as satisfactory when it comes to people, the leader caring for them. Only 22%.
Yep.
That's a problem. That's why I have, just have such a passion about leaders serving from the heart and leading your team in service, and why it will change the world. I say it all the time. Y'all probably get tired of me saying it, but I say that for world change, it starts with a leadership change. And I mean individuals saying, I am going to be different than the other, what's the math? 78% of leaders. So what can we as a world, I guess you could say, starting with the community and your country and the world, can we start to move the needle in the other direction? Because it says that in 2023, it was the lowest, since they've been tracking it, it's the lowest point where people trust the organization they work in. The lowest.
Yeah.
So we're in a massive downtrend. That was a stock lingo, downtrend, but we're falling into a time where if we do not turn this around, we're going to live in a world that, 78% of people don't trust her right now. That's what the stats are showing. So what if that gets down to where 95% of people don't have trust in their organization? Dude, the business world is going to be a miserable, miserable place. So it's up to you as a leader to decide, I am going to change the way I lead, and I'm going to lead from the heart. I'm not going to be the leader that falls into that 78% bracket. I'm going to be different. And it starts with you as an individual. And to all my team watching, it starts with you as an individual as well. Again, I've said it so many times. Every single person is a leader of some kind. Somebody's looking up to you. You have to be able to lead from the heart. Change your mindset. It's not about you. It's about the people around you. It's about your family. It's about Caring for, people, whether it's in your organization or whether it's just somebody that you meet in town. So, service never stops. You cannot turn it on or turn it off. It's either you have it in your heart or you don't have it. There is no turning it off. Now, there's moments we go through in life where we don't feel like it. I get it. I'm there as well. But, you know what's crazy about them moments? When in those moments, if you decide, no, I'm powering through and I'm going to lead from the heart and I'm going to serve people, them are some of the most powerful moments that God can use you, because you're at that moment 100% relying on Him to get you through this next experience of service. Because honestly, I don't feel like it today, but because of who I am and what Christ has done in my life, I'm going to. And them are some of the most beautiful moments. So please make sure to let's change that mindset. And let's change this world one leader at a time by becoming a leader that cares and that serves from within and has a heart of Christ in every decision he makes and every person that he surrounds himself with, that he touches, that they feel the touch of Christ on their lives through you.
Yeah.
So there's my rant.
No, that's perfect. And thanks, JD, for the translation there, man. I really appreciate that. That's so awesome. Sean's got him taken care of. Our new season starts March 7th. This person says, I am thinking of starting a business, but it's very difficult to get everything I need for business here. Lots of taxes. Hey, we hear you.
That's
it's a killer.
Where are they from?
Yeah, I'd love to know where you're from.
If you're able to share that, we'd love to hear that. We love to interact with you some there, because I understand the toughness and the difficulties when it comes to starting a business. Understand we are blessed, Corey, where we live, to be able to, probably a lot easier than some places, but there's a lot of things we face as trying to start a business that can be tough. And I just want to encourage you, wherever you're from, wherever you are, it starts with you as an individual. Make sure that you are who you need to be as a leader first and foremost. And I promise you, yes, the difficulty is actually getting started may be tough, but once you get started, if you have yourself in the right mindset and you're leading from the heart, I promise you, your business will thrive, because you'll have people that truly want to be part of it. And that's when you become successful, is when people say, hey, I want to join in on this mission. I want to join in on this calling that you have on your life, because I feel that same calling on my life. And you get a group of people behind you that have that calling, I'm telling you, it'll change your life and the business that you start's life forever. So
yeah. That's awesome. And Gerald, also shout out to you. That's a great comment. Showing care is very difficult because it gets so he says it gets so easy to get caught up in the day to day. It's something you have to be intentional in doing, and that's so true. It's very easy to get in the grind, and sometimes when you're in that grind, there's casualties of war. As I like to say, you get so, I got to get this done, that you get so task oriented that you don't realize that you're really, as a leader, in the business of people, not task. And so that's a great comment. And and I appreciate JD, man. JD's out here learning 2 languages right now, so he's killing it. So we've talked about ways to you can be consistent, you can be competent, and you can care, and that's kind of some ways that you build trust with your team. I kind of want to shift to ways that you can break trust with your team, and we kind of touched on that, but lack of transparency is so critical. 85% of employees say that they are more likely to stay with a company with transparent communication. And so the fix for that is just be open. Transparency builds credibilities, and leaders who hide information or withhold key details create a culture of distrust. So we're just when you're holding that information, and sometimes, I think most leaders don't do it intentionally, right? It just happens, but you have to be so intentional with it, and understanding how to communicate things. I was researching companies like Buffer share salaries and financials openly to build a culture of trust, and so there's really for them there's no hidden anything, nothing's hidden from their employees. They can all see whatever they need to see, and you may say, Corey, that's pretty extreme, and I would say we even are not that to that level. We have different tiers that have different levels of information, and so especially like financials and stuff. But there's things that you know that are being withheld for the team that may not necessarily have to be held with the team from the team, and so that's what I'm encouraging you guys is look at that, evaluate it, and sit there and say, you know, do I need to withhold that from the team? If I don't, then help them out. Let them inside the circle. That's a big deal to them.
I want to ask a question, and this is for my team.
Yep.
And I'd love for y'all to comment on this, if you're listening. Do you feel, and this is for me, okay, because this is a question I've been thinking in my mind, and I think this is a great opportunity to ask it. Do you feel that we are transparent enough as an organization? It's a simple question. Do you feel that we are transparent enough as an organization? And on top of that, let me ask this question. Do you have enough information to do your job well? I'll leave it at that. That's something that I've been thinking on a lot lately is, and now that we're kind of talking about it, it kind of falls right into that. So yeah, just comment. I'd love to hear, and don't just, I'd love to just let's go with honesty here. If you feel differently, I'd love to hear it. So,
seeing a lot of 1,000%, yes sir, yeah, 100%. Personally for me, I feel like I have everything I need to do my job. I don't, and here's the other thing, as a employee or as a senior director, when I feel like I don't have what I need, I talk about it. Mm-hmm. Like, so I say like, hey, I really need to see this report, or I need to be able to know what direction we're going with this. And so sometimes as a follower or as a lower in the org chart, if you would say, sometimes it also requires you bringing that up to the upper management attention that you need that piece. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I would say to everybody that's inside of our organization, if you don't have something, bring it up. Start the conversation, and it may be a no, but you'll get an explanation why it's a no. Mm-hmm. I will stand on the limb and say that that I know from your seat and from Jimmy and Conrad and the senior director level, we'll give you a reason if it's a no. But it may need to be a conversation that needs to be started. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So just be transparent, and that's going to fix that.
I do want to. Yeah. I know we're live,
You're
so
good.
I want to jump over here. The person that JD is translating for, they made a comment here that says, mm-hmm. The most important thing is to keep going. Even if you have the skill, you can't trust it if it's not stable. And even if you only have the desire, you won't get results. In the end, those who keep going will grow and win. I could not agree with you more. Mm-hmm. You nailed it. One of the biggest things as a business, starting a business, because we're kind of talking about that. It seems like that you're considering starting a business. The number one failure of business is before it started. That's crazy, right? But it's true. The number one failure in a business is before it started. Meaning, I gave up. I gave up on my dream. I quit. You will never achieve it. So I love that comment. You are absolutely right. Never give up. Never stop. Wherever you are in life, whoever you are, wherever you're from, I just want to say this. Don't quit. Don't stop. I believe in you. I know that you can do it. And I would love to reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Even don't even have to be on through the podcast. We have, go down. I think we have an email address attached to our channel. Reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
But I love your comments, and I love the energy that you have, and I believe in you. I really do. I think it's something that you can achieve your dreams if you keep that mindset. So I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. What's the Bible tells us that the I forget the verse, but it goes in and it says something to the standard: the successful man falls seven times, but he gets up 8.
Yes, absolutely.
So just keep going, man. It's so important because life's gonna. I can guarantee you, in business, in whatever you do, you're gonna get knocked down. It's about getting up that is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
So the next way that leaders break trust is micromanagement. I know we all love that word, micromanagement. So the thing, and this is something that if you're a leader that's a type A personality, sometimes you lean into this a little bit too much. You think I've got to have my finger in every little thing, but what you don't realize is what you're doing is you're breaking trust with your team because they don't think that you think they can do the job, and so empower your people, man. Like, that's so big. Micromanages just signals the lack of confidence with your team. And so I just want to really, really encourage you guys is, you don't have to do every little thing to make your team go. Mm-hmm. Your team has great ideas. Your team is very capable. If they're not capable, then why did you hire them?
Mm-hmm. And it's an exhausting thing.
Oh,
I have been there, and I still sometimes do it. I just, I catch myself at times if I'm just overwhelmed, and I do an inventory of why I am. Most times it's because I've taken back on things that somebody else had control of, and it wasn't that I didn't trust them. It was just that it can sometimes creep in without even really intention, or without it even being an intention.
I think sometimes leaders, their intention is to have a check-in on a situation, but it's a breakdown in communication, and they sit there and they go, that's not going the way I thought it would, so let me take care of it.
Yeah.
And they dive straight in. They don't figure it out, or they don't let their team figure it out. And the thing is, like, delegate. Like, I know that's a fancy word we say in leadership all the time, but delegate that responsibility over to people, and then hold them accountable to it. That's another thing. But just trust your employees' capabilities. There's a reason you went out and you hired them, right? You saw something in them when you hired them, and I'm gonna say something really challenging right now, and this is challenging even to me. If you don't trust their abilities, then you probably didn't train them well, and that's on you.
Yes,
that ain't on your employee.
Yep.
And so, as a leader, you have to trust them. You have to let them do the job, and all it's going to end up doing is reduce their morale and innovation. And we need innovative people in our business.
Amen.
Okay, so the third thing, failure to follow through. We touched on this earlier, but keep your word. Keep your word. I will stand on this, and this will be my hill to die on. But if you say something, please get it done, because all you're doing is breaking trust with your team.
Yes.
A leader's credibility is only as strong as their ability to follow through. And Lincoln Chaffee says trust is built with consistency. And so it's not just, I did it one time. It's I did it the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And so set realistic goals, hold yourself accountable, and admit mistakes when necessary. Clinton, how important is it to admit mistakes?
if a leader does not admit his mistakes, you are creating a culture of a team that will not admit their mistakes. You ask how important it is. To me, it's the absolute center of trust. Because trust is not something that you always get right, and you're always right, and you always get it right, and you always do the right thing. That builds trust. Yes, that's part of it. You need to do what you say you're going to do. But what probably builds trust more than anything else is when you admit you're wrong. And you humbly admit you're wrong. Guys, I screwed up. I failed. I am sorry. I let you down as a leader, and I will do better. I promise I will do better. And what that does is it creates this, I don't know what the right word, it creates this opportunity for them then to also say, hey, I screwed up. And now as a leader, if you're wanting them to hear you when you apologize in a screw up, make sure that you hear them when they come to you and say, hey, man, I screwed up. I'm sorry I screwed up. And that's a great teaching moment. Use it as a teaching moment. Use it as a moment where people are understand that, it's so many times we get frustrated when someone makes a mistake. But most times, if you take the time in that moment to teach them to why they made the mistake and how to do it better next time, you probably won't have to deal with that thing again.
Yeah.
So just a thought there.
100%. And the last opportunity that leaders can, or last thing that they can do to break trust is not listening. I don't know how many times I've seen leaders in my life just not listen. They may sit in a meeting. They may they may even set up a intentional one-on-one with their team, but they don't listen. Right? It goes in one ear and out the other. And the thing is, your team wants to be heard.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm going to let you in on another little secret. They are the leading experts of how that team functions, not the leader. Okay? And we like to say, oh, yeah, I got it handled. But at the end of the day, they're the ones in the thick of it. They're the ones in the day in, day out. They can tell you exactly what's really going on. And so active listening fosters an environment of trust and respect. Regularly seek feedback from them, actively listen, and act on employee suggestions, because they're probably got some pretty good ones. It may be more work for you, and that's okay. But listen to their suggestions, because they've got some good ones. I promise you. If you don't do meetings with your team members and you're a leader, I'm going to give you a challenge this week. I want you to, today or Monday, I want you to sit down and I want you to schedule a 30-minute meeting with every single one of your direct reports. And all you need to sit there and ask them how they're doing, how they believe the organization's doing, how they believe your team is doing, and listen to them. That's the only things you need to say in that meeting is, hey, how are you doing? Listen to them. You may have to pry, because it's going to be a little weird at first if you've never done it.
Yeah, it can be.
But pry a little bit. Say, hey, how's everything going? Hey, how do you feel like the organization's doing or the business is doing? Blah, blah, blah. They may give you a little fluff, but not. And then, how's our team doing? And hammer it. And say, hey, no, I really want to hear your feedback. You're going to hear a lot of things that you probably thought were going well that are not going well. And that's okay, because guess what you just got? You got valuable information that you can go and change some things as a leader.
Do you know most leaders don't like that due to them they don't like to admit that there's things in the organization that is not okay?
I could see it, yeah.
And that's a scary place to be.
I mean, I think of it like this. Would you rather know that you have cancer in your body?
Absolutely, right.
Or would you rather just go on happy-go-lucky one day?
Absolutely. I mean, I have found out things about my organization that I had no clue about because I was willing to listen.
Yeah.
And today we got them fixed. We got them corrected because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the truth. If you have a large amount of team members, there's no way that you're truly able to 100% know everything that's happening. It's just not possible. So, but yeah, I would love to hear from my team. You know, Corey put a question in there. What's the quickest way a leader can destroy trust with their team? I'd love to hear some feedback on that. If you have a comment, I'd love for you to throw it in there just to see where y'all's mind is. Again, what is the quickest way a leader can destroy trust with you as a team member?
So it's kind of funny. Gerald said vulnerability, because that's the next thing I want to talk about is being vulnerable and authentic leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Leaders don't need all the answers. They need to admit mistakes and be open and open about challenges that foster trust. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So I really feel like just being open with your team is so vital. So real quick, as y'all are answering and stuff, I did want to read. He translated it for us this time.
Yes,
we appreciate that.
Yes, you said something about sorry about bad English. I completely understood everything you said. So great job. Great job.
Yeah, you killed it.
Admit no mistake. Build pride that's not good. Admit mistake. Is humbles you as a man. Makes him feel like a person again. I love that. That's actually so good. You know the quickest thing to bring you. It talks about in the Bible. It says pride goes before destruction, or
Mm-hmm.
before you fall, basically. So if you have pride in your life, and you get humbled, you're absolutely right. You'll feel like a person again. Because guess what? We are all people, and we all fail, and we all screw up. The day you think you don't, you're a miserable human being. I'll just say it what it is. If you think that you are on top of the world, you think that you're better than everybody else or better than most, man, you are in a place that is dark, and I feel for you. I really feel for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pray that God would humble you somehow and realize that you're back to being who you are. So great comment there. I believe that's exactly the truth, that you will get humbled if you do not, if your pride is too high. So every leader out there, make sure that you don't have all that thinking that you made it, thinking that you're better than everybody else. It's nothing that, to me, there's nothing more disgusting it's not even a leader, more disgusting as an individual when you think that you're better than everybody else. To me, that's one of the worst things that you can have in your life. So sorry if that offended anybody, but I believe that wholeheartedly, that I don't like being around people that think they know it all. I want to be around people that say, I screw up all the time, and here's where I screw up, but one thing I will not do is give up. One thing I will not do is quit. I'm going to get better at the mistakes that I've made. I'm going to get better at the areas in my life that I need to grow in. And there's something that I just came back from a retreat last week, and I love to go do this retreat every year because it's an opportunity for me to look at me and say, what am I missing as a leader or as just a person in general? One of the areas that came out so strong in my life was my relationships, man. I got to get better at my relationships. Even outside of work, just relationships in general. Sometimes I get wore out and I don't step out. So as leaders, being vulnerable, that I'm not all that.
Yeah.
I got fears. I got fears just like everybody else.
100%.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I was reading the comments. Jason said, dishonesty, taking advantage, and not listening or helpful to them. And then Lyndon said, saying one thing, then turning around and doing the opposite thing destroys trust. Man, that's so true. And I hope I hadn't done that to you, Lyndon. So admitting you're wrong, is being vulnerable. And I read that one. I'm sorry. But so we've talked a lot about these things, and we always try to bring up practical way that you can get better in our talks and stuff. And so I want to kind of talk about that, and just run through these quickly, because I kind of want to have a time after we get through all this where you guys can ask questions and we can kind of sit in the chat for just a little bit and talk, and y'all can ask questions. And it ain't got to be, we love leadership questions, we love business questions, but we also love, you can ask us just about anything and we'll probably tell you.
I'll even tell you what my golf score was the other day on the golf course.
Yeah, so make sure to ask that in the chat, because I would love to know that. But practical steps to building trust, a trust-first culture, being honest and transparent. Leaders should over-communicate rather than under-communicate. And that brings us to our second one: communicate clearly and often. Regular updates and feedback sessions foster trust. And this one's a big one. I kind of want to hang on here for just a minute or two, but recognize and appreciate people. Statistics say that 69% of employees say that they would work harder if they felt like their efforts were better recognized. Mm-hmm. And how crucial do you think that is of recognizing the team?
Well, first and foremost for me, I believe that even the things that I do, let's be honest, it does feel good to get recognized for it at times. Yeah. I mean, we didn't start this channel to get 100,000 subscribers. Yeah. But we did, and it's good. It feels good to recognize that. It feels, it feels good. So looking at it from that angle, if it feels good to me, and it drives me to even do better in this podcast, to even put more effort into it and give better content, it's the same thing if we're your team. When they have an amazing day, or maybe in sales, recognize that. Make sure that they are acknowledged for their hard effort. And I promise you, the next day they're going to give just as much effort the next day. And there's one other thing too, that there's some personalities do not like to get recognized publicly. Learn your people enough to know who them people are. There's some people that would rather have a pat on their back and say, hey, great job today, just privately. You killed it, and I appreciate your effort. Then there are people out there that would rather, hey, guys, gather around real quick. Let's celebrate. Yeah. He just had an amazing day. Yeah. So learn that, because you can actually kind of harm someone a little bit, and if they don't like being publicly recognized, yeah, you can sometimes harm somebody a little bit by gathering everybody together and say, hey, check out what he did. He killed it today. And they're kind of like just crawl into this little corner.
They want to crawl underneath the
desk.
because
they didn't do it for that reason. Yeah. And now they're getting recognized publicly, and it feels a little intimidating. So know your people enough to know who them people are. Yeah. I could right now, I'm not going to mention any names, but I could probably give you 10 different people in our organization that I know that would probably rather have the pat on the back and say privately, hey, great job. Yeah. Now I know a few people that would love to be celebrated public, and there's nothing wrong with that. No. Like that's just your personality. I'm looking at it more from the standpoint of your personality. Some people are high eyes, which means they love interaction with people. They're a people person. They don't want to be celebrated in the sense of, look what I did. They want to celebrate with everybody just because it's fun. Mm-hmm. Then you have the S, which is very quiet, very, back in the corner, does an amazing job. I love S's, by the way. They're amazing because they're quiet, but yet they give you everything they got. And but they need to be recognized more from the standpoint of just, hey, great job. And so yeah, I think it's extremely, extremely vital to building a trust first culture in the sense of recognizing your people. And I believe that if we're all honest, it does feel good to be recognized. Mm-hmm. So
I agree with that. The one thing that I do, like for our guys in our huddles, we actually have a little competition going between our sales team of who's going to sell the most this year. And so we have a board, and every day I update that board and let them know, hey, who's in the lead. And anytime there's a change, so like somebody takes over first place, it's pretty fun because everybody kind of gives that person that dropped out of first place a little grief. and so that's just the culture of our team, because we've now all four of us kind of learned each other, and we know we all kind of like to go to each other, and so JP is sitting at number 1 right now, but Lyndon is hot on his heels, and Lyndon's trying to catch him, and you know what happens when we all are recognizing each other? It makes all of us work harder.
Yeah. I got an idea.
Yeah, what you got?
And I think this is brilliant. And I think you need to take this into consideration here. So I was just recently at an organization that I was actually in their sales bullpen. And all of a sudden, I was walking through that. All of a sudden, I heard ding, 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 ding. Somebody's ringing a bell. And the gentleman that was giving me the tour said, every time a sale happens, they get up and ring the bell. And it wasn't just one bell that rang. When that bell rang, there was people that had, them little chickens that you squeeze and make a squealing noise.
Yeah.
There's people that have them at their desk. They celebrate with that individual making a sale. So get you a bell down there. Just a small one, that every time there's a sale, that individual gets up and rings that bell. And I tell you what it does. It motivates everybody. It's like, well, he made another sale, man. I gotta step it up.
Hey, well, listen, the sales team down at Yoder Metal, y'all let me know if y'all want to do that, and we'll talk about it. A lot of them there might just be a constant ringing of a bell down there.
I would love that.
Hey, I'm good with that.
Could you imagine, like, the customer standing there and a sale, like JP makes a sale, so he rings the bell, and then like a bunch of chickens and bells start going off.
It's kind of cool though, right?
It would be awesome. It would be hilarious. And the customer's just confused, like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I mean, be respectful for if there's like 10 customers in the office. Maybe.
We'll reevaluate it. We'll take a look at it.
This place doesn't have customers that walk in, so that's a little different.
It is a little different,
but still, I think there'd be something that'd be cool to.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Figure something out. Let's do that.
We'll take it into evaluation. So we talked about recognizing your people, appreciate them, model accountability, admit when mistakes are made, and correct them openly. I've always had this mindset that if the mistake happened openly, then admit it openly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if something happens out in the open, show the fix out in the open.
Yes.
And so then trust your team first. Empower your employees with autonomy to foster a culture of mutual trust. And because here's the thing, when you take care of your employees, when you build trust with your employees, they're going to build trust with their customers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that is so vital when growing a business. So, we hope with this talk, you guys are really building this foundation of trust in your leadership, because that's where it starts. We talk a lot about a lot of different things, but remember at the start that I was telling you that, let me get the stat real quick. Organizations with high trust experience 50% lower turnover, and they also experience 76% higher engagement and 29% higher revenue. So you're making $1 million. You're telling me that you wouldn't like to have $290,000 increase? That's what you're telling me?
You'd be crazy if you wouldn't.
100%. And so trust can get you there, but it's going to take some hard work. It's going to take you changing how you operate and being intentional with it, and you'll see a big impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But, hey, listen, everybody, if you are not subscribed or you haven't liked the live yet, please subscribe for us, like it. And
please do.
Real quick, we're gonna go into a little bit of a Q&A. So if you have any questions for us, it don't have to be leadership questions. We like leadership questions. We like business questions, but we can definitely do some global positioning system, Gerald.
I did not know that.
Yeah, global positioning system.
I have learned something today.
That's what that
GPS.
stands for.
I thought that's just what it is. It's a GPS.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that hit my head pretty quick.
Yeah, that was remarkable. Like
that's
where did you learn that?
I've heard it at some
Okay.
point. This mind is a mind of useless facts. Like I can tell you the deadliest battle in World War II was the Battle of Stalingrad.
How many people died?
I think it was like over 1 million.
Goodness.
Like it was just so awful. So,
Randall, what's your question?
oh boy,
We just had Randall Yoder join the chat.
man.
We also
Is he just now showing up to work?
we all
Probably.
we,
Just kidding.
we also that cracked me up. We also they said that I'm not sure about their name, but they said you say you like golf. I like to golf and play. I'm not sure where that's it, but he said I know I'm not good because of no practice.
Hey, get that.
I get that, man. Like, let me tell you something about golf. And I would love to play with you. I absolutely love to play golf with people. I am no good. I mean, there's moments of success.
Brother won the tournament last year.
Well, I won the tournament, but you got to understand the competition level.
Hey, there is not a truer statement made.
You got to understand the competition level. Oh, and by the way, I am about to release the plan. Team, if you're listening, I'm about to release the 2025 Yoders Cup plan and
Perfect.
what we're going to do. One of the areas, I'll just say this real quick, because there's a lot of people of our team that's on here right now. We're going to do something a little different, and it's exciting. And maybe we can do this. There's two options here. Would y'all rather play this year as a team,
Oh, I kind of like a team.
like a two-man team, best ball, or would you rather that we play individually, but we take last year's stats and we give the people that are shooting, that are beginners at golf, a minus beginning score,
Oh, that might be good too.
so that in the end it's a full-on competition.
Yeah, that might be good too. Because, I mean, that it got outpaced pretty quick.
Yeah, it was a down to really a 3-man run,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Sean tried to make a run at it, but
Well, I think
we'll say four. We'll say
I
four.
think Sean would have done better, but the first round of golf, he thought we're going to just go out this golf tournament just to have fun. When he got there, he realized at the end of the round that no, we take this very serious.
Very
Sean
serious.
did not take the first round of golf very serious, and it cost him
dearly.
very much.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have done
You
I would
probably
probably done a little better.
you probably would have been a lot closer to me if you.
How far off was I from
You were like 30 strokes off of me.
So yeah, I was pretty close.
That's
pretty far.
Not really, but if that's what you want to say,
I was pretty close.
So yeah, we love golfing, and like I said, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name there, but I don't get enough practice
Oh,
either,
no.
and I'm excited to get back on the golf course this year. This was the last Saturday was the first time I actually played. So
yeah, Jason, that will not happen. Lyndon and Clinton will not be on the team. I will tell you that.
I thought about as far as a team. It would make it very, if we do teams, you take, and this would be tough, but you take the winner and the last place and shrink it down, which would give probably a fairly good advantage to the guys in the middle.
Mhm.
But I think it would make it a challenge. It would make the ones that are at the front have to dig deeper even and be better. So we'll talk about it, and I love it. So
Yeah.
You imagine,
we got Papa Bear wants to do a fishing tournament.
Do you imagine Cody gets
he would
paired with me?
smoke us.
and
Yeah, he would kill us.
he would throw his clubs in the trash.
Yeah, I can see that too.
He
We
almost
did talk
last year.
about now. Sean and me talked about actually filming it this year
Oh, I want to so bad.
Oh, that'd be so
and
good.
put it on the channel for everyone.
Would y'all like it filmed?
I've actually been studying golfing, like content, like live content and filming content and stuff like that. I've been really studying it because, Corey piqued my interest.
Yeah, I think that'd be something that we could possibly do. At least we may not be able to get it all on it, but
Yeah.
It would be most golfing creators. Their videos are like an hour and a half long. It's like a full podcast almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
So sweet. All right, let's get into some questions here.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's come on up here. Oh, I love that comment. Gerald says, if I'm looking for Corey, it's Gerald's positioning system.
That is true. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that's what you were asking, Gerald. That is true. Gerald, like, I have made a comment that he slipped a tracker on me or something. Because, like, it doesn't, like, if I'm not in my office, Gerald knows exactly where I'm at somehow, which I don't go many places. I go to my office, the sales floor, or Jimmy's office. That's usually the 3 places you can find me. But Gerald jokes about he has a GPS tracker on.
Well, he loves to bug you too. What you doing? What you doing, Corey?
Oh my gosh, he asked me like he's my kid.
What you doing, Corey? And he does it, Corey. I just want to let you know.
I know
he does it because of your reaction.
I know he does, and I can't control my reaction to it because, like, I've told him, like, it's like you know, if you have kids and you have young kids, like I got an 8-year-old, you know, that's what I hear all the time. Daddy, what are you doing? Daddy, where are you going? Daddy. And so Gerald does it at work, and so I'm just constantly asked, what am I doing, or what is happening, or where I'm going.
There's a comment here. It said, Randall said, get that Yankee hat off this live. I'm assuming he's referring to, let's see, is it you, Sean?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Ah, there it is. I love it. All right, there's some serious questions in here that I'd like to get to, but yeah. I want to just kind of scan through here. Brandon says no filming. Why not, Brandon? I think there would be some great content coming directly from you.
Yeah, there's I have a video on my TikTok. If anybody wants to go see of Brandon golfing, that is exactly why he doesn't want it filmed.
He gets a little dizzy.
I don't think that's it. I think he's just.
He deals with some anger issues on the
He
golf
really
course.
does. It's kind of funny.
Him and Cody both. Cody threw his club at me. I don't know why.
Well, maybe because you're trying to run people over on the golf course.
Oh, no.
I was sitting there the other day, or the last tournament. I'm trying to be focused here. Next thing I know, I see the shadow coming toward me. I don't think he'd actually would have ran me over. But I see the shadow coming across the golf course just right at me.
I ran over Laverne.
Oh, I know you did.
He was so mad.
All right, let's get serious now.
Yeah.
All right, Randall makes a comment. He says this. He says, "What do you do with an employee that does not understand what the team or the organization stands for?" That's a great question. Well, I would ask you this: Have you spent enough time with that individual, teaching them what the organization stands for? One of the things that is missed most often is it kind of comes down to that thing of communication, is that you've communicated that well enough that, you know, and a lot of times I'll tell you this, that if your team doesn't understand what your organization stands for, maybe you yourself as a leader needs to make sure that you're being a good example. And I'm not saying you, Randall, but as just anybody listening, that they truly understand that you embody and you're living it out as action and as being an example to the team. That's probably the easiest way for them to understand it. I will tell you though, there are times where it takes some people longer to truly buy into the bigger purpose behind it. They love working there. They love working for someone because of who they are, and probably because they embody a bigger purpose than just the work itself. But they don't totally understand what that is yet, and that comes with time. I would just encourage continue leading by example, continue putting yourself out first, in the sense of what we stand for, and talk about it a lot, communicate it a lot, let it be part of every discussion that you have. So that would be my input on that. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
This is a good one right here from our new friend. When you start a business, I find suppliers to be the most hard. Can you recommend when to check for better prices but good quality, quarter, month, or year? That's
a phenomenal question. Mm-hmm. And I'm, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in on this, Corey.
Yeah.
Here's why I say that is something that we just went through in January. We as the financial department, which is what I lead here in the organization, we have set up to where every quarter we do a review of all product, of the cost of that product, and then we review. Do we need to look elsewhere? Do we need to go up on prices? I would encourage you, though, that quality always beats price.
Mm-hmm.
Quality always beats price. There's going to be opportunities to buy stuff cheap. But remember what you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing a good quality product to the customer that you're selling to. And we live in a world today that price is not as big of a thing as it used to be. You can outprice yourself, but I've learned that we're shifting into a time where people want quality and things that last. They're willing to pay a little more, and I believe that's worldwide. I do. I believe that's worldwide. So, yeah, I just think that at least every quarter is what I would do to review that. We actually set it up in our calendar that every quarter we're reviewing that.
Let's see here. We got who is your favorite motivational speaker?
John Deloney.
John's awesome.
John Deloney. I know somebody says Dave Ramsey. I do a lot, and I love listening to Dave. But John Deloney embodies. I don't know. It's
John Deloney makes you just want to just like crawl up in his lap and give him a hug.
Yeah, he's. I don't know if he really is a motivational speaker though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gets real. He gets deep. I don't know if I'm necessarily motivated when I listen to him.
Yeah, most of the time I want to sit there and cry for a little bit.
Yeah. In a good way.
Yeah, like in a great way, but I just want to like.
Yeah. Motivational speaker. That's a great question. Well, who is my favorite motivational speaker? Someone that gets me fired up.
God, I don't know that he's not a motivational speaker. He's a pastor, but Travis does always a good job for me.
Yeah.
Travis Key, Pastor Travis Key, which is going to be on this season as well. Him and I shout out to my church. They did a men's night this last Sunday night. Had about 450 men at a men's night.
Me too, Lyndon.
Is that not?
Me too.
Hey, Jameis Winston, straight up, man.
You see him ask. He was the other day. He was at when they were doing the interviews for the
Catch a W.
Super Bowl. It looked like a gang sign, by the way.
That's what it is. Catch a W.
Anyway, he actually came up as a reporter to ask Barkley where he should play next, and Barkley's like, I think the Giants are looking for a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the response Jameis Winston was wanting, because he's actually not signed right now, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
free agent, baby.
But he's cool. I like that.
Somebody sign that man. So.
And Jason, I agree with you. John Deloney, there's a form of motivation there, but if you're just talking actual motivational speaker, that's where I would go. All right, we're gonna take this. We're gonna need to close this down.
Yeah.
We got work to do after this. So
100%.
I will go ahead and tell y'all. So I was at a 98 on my golf score, but there's something that's missing out of that. I didn't play even the 18th hole because I just quit. I'm a quitter. No, there was a group in front of us. There was like 8 guys playing in one group, and they were so drunk, like straight up on the last tee box. Only I think 4 of them could hit the ball.
Nice.
And I was so frustrated. We just quit.
Yeah.
We didn't play the last round the hole, but 98 through 17. So it was not good.
Not the best, but
not especially where I was last year. But then I did say this. I remember beginning of last year, I was struggling. So I think it'll autocorrect. So yeah, I sucked, but it's okay.
It'll be all right.
So,
well, we have thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope that you guys had a lot of fun. I know I did. We hope that you're building trust in your business. We hope that that's going to be a big deal for you guys. And I do want to reiterate. There you go. My challenge to you guys, if you don't do some form of one-on-ones, start talking to your team, asking them. You're going to get some great feedback, and it's also going to start building trust with them that you're actually listening to them. So definitely want to do that. But, man, thank y'all so much. If you have any other questions or whatever, like Clinton said, our email should be down there in the bio. You can also follow us on Facebook and TikTok on those platforms. and we can also receive messages that way. We would love to hear from y'all. There's my beautiful bride. I hope you have a great day, baby. I hope you just have a stellar day, and the world just, every time you walk outside, the sunshine it's just opening up, and it's just beautiful.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to
Love
rain
you.
today. No, just kidding.
Not on my girl though. But
yeah, I do want to say one last thing here too is it says thank you, Mr. Clinton. We'll be waiting for more videos. Hope for you best of luck, and same to you. Like I said, we will be having our actual podcast will be released the beginning of March. We'd love for you to tune into that. There's a lot of great content. We have some amazing guests coming on, so I believe that you would benefit a lot from those podcasts. And also, we have a lot of this is season 4 that's coming up. So there's 3 seasons on our channel right now that you can go back and take a look at, and there's some great things. But I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for tuning in and working on yourself. And so continue that. Don't give up. Don't quit. And I promise you will succeed if you continue to grow as an individual. So proud of you for tuning in. So,
well, awesome, guys. Well, we're going to be back, like I said, March 7th with our first episode of season 4. So let us know what you guys are interested in hearing. We love hearing that feedback. And also, like I said, follow us on all the Facebook, the TikTok, and we'd love to hear from you on those as well. So, Clinton, any final thoughts?
Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure the impact lasts in your absence. We love y'all. We hope that y'all have an amazing day, amazing weekend, and always remember, whatever you do, to always lead with a purpose. We will see y'all in our next live or the podcast coming up. We love y'all. God bless you.